Hello students, and welcome to section 2-1, Relations and Functions. Relations and functions. So a relation can be represented as a set of ordered pairs or as an equation. The relation is then the set of all ordered pairs x, y that make the equation true. A function is a relation in which each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element of the range. We have learned in the past that domain represents your x values, or is represented by your x values, while your range is represented by your y values. So I gave a couple of examples off to the left here, and I've also given a couple of examples off to the right. If we take a look at the examples on the left, so a relation by definition is just comparing two different quantities, in which we're going to take a look at ordered pairs x and y, and I have actually written them, as you can see, with the inputs x, outputs y in an xy table. Domain again is represented by x, while range is represented by y. So for our very first xy table, we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have those are your inputs, and we have 2, 4, and 6. Now we have arrows, kind of what we say mapping to those respective y's. Now as it turns out, because each input has exactly one output, by definition this relation is also a function. So it's not just a relation, it's also a function. Part B, what I've given you here is another xy table, which is technically a relation, only in that you have x's as well as y's, and they're related, as you can see. But the mapping from x to y here, it goes from 1 to 2, so 1 maps to 2. And 2 not only maps to 2, it also maps to 3. So because this input maps to two different outputs, or in other words, you could say an input technically doesn't have exactly one output, it has two outputs, it's not a function. It's technically a relation, but it's not a function. Now, the other two, or three really, these three parts of the table, the last two of which are not going to be something we dig into at all. The idea of, however, one-to-one functions is something we're going to dig into. And I actually changed some of the language here so that it makes more sense in the context of what we're going to describe. Each element of the range pairs to exactly one unique element of the domain. Okay, now if it read as each element of the domain pairs to exactly one unique element of the range, it actually reads very much like the definition of a function. One-to-one is not the same idea as a function. Okay, and here's why. So my question off to the right is this one-to-one? So here's my xy table, and I'm going to go technically in the other direction with these particular values. And by that I mean look at your range values, and do your range values map to only one input or domain value? 4 maps to 1, 5 maps to 2, and 6 maps to 3. So by definition this is one-to-one. Each element of the range pairs to a unique element in the domain. So yes, it is one-to-one. What about the next xy table? So approach it in a similar manner. Start with your y's and go in the other direction here. Go to the x. 2 I have here mapping to 1, 2, and 3. So clearly, because it has 3 different inputs given that singular output, it's technically not one-to-one. The difference between something not being a function and not being one-to-one is just the direction that you're orienting your mapping. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Not a function here, not a one-to-one relationship there. In the example, it shows, or it asks, and it shows, to state the domain and range of the relation, as you see shown in the xy table, does the relation represent a function? So if you take a look, all of your x's are different. So even if any y's repeated, in this case, none of the y's are repeated from what I could tell. it turns out that these x's are all different, so even if all of these numbers were exactly the same, it would technically still be a function. Okay, because again, each input maps to a singular output. Okay. The domain for this particular function is all reals, or negative to positive infinity. I know they only show 5 x's, but we're going to, according to the answer key, stick to the idea that this is the trend of values, and as it turns out, any positive, any negative, or 0, as they say here, in fact, is the domain of all reals, as more specifically, they explain here. The range is very much the same in terms of negatives. You got some positives. I don't see 0 in the mix, but again, the assumption would be here, because of the way that they've answered it, as they say, domain and range are both real numbers, so negative to positive infinity as well. There will be problems later, however, that we modify a bit, such that maybe we don't, just assume that maybe these values continue or progress in the same manner. Okay, next, state the domain and range of each relation. Then determine whether each relation is a function. If it is a function, determine if it is one-to-one. We're not going to determine onto, both, or neither. For problem number 1, we've got these ordered pairs, as you can see written in the kind of set notation. If you differentiate 0.5, 0.4, 3.1, and 0.4 as your x's, aka your domain set of values, I did go up in ascending order, and I did not repeat 0.4, just write it once. Similarly, the y's, or the range set of values, 0, 1, 2, and 3 in ascending order. So now the question begs, again, is this relation a function? Well, does each input have a singular output? It turns out that technically, if you look at 0.4, 2 and 0.4, 0, each input actually doesn't have a singular output. This is 0 while this is 2. Those are two different numbers, so no, it is not a function. If you go in the other direction, however, 0, 1, 2, and 3, all those y values are technically different. So it could end up where all the domain values, even if they were the same, it still would be one-to-one, because again, all of these are different numbers, and you have, again, a different set of domain values, but it maps in such a way where each range maps to a unique domain value. Number 4, I encourage you to take a look at on your own. The domain, the range, and whether or not it's a function or one-to-one. Please take a look at that and double check to see if you're on track with how the answers match up with what you should be doing there. Let's take a look. I will highlight just the example on this page, and we'll continue on to begin a little bit from section 2.2 as well. So it's a kind of combination of 2.1 and 2.2 here today. Equations of relations and functions. Equations that represent functions are often written in what we call functional notation. For example, y equals 10 minus 8x can be written as f of x equals 10 minus 8x. So this f of x is replacing y. This notation emphasizes the fact that the values of y, in other words the dependent variable, depend on the values of x, in other words the independent variable. To evaluate a function or find a function of value means to substitute a given value in the domain into the equation to find the corresponding element in the range. For example, given f of x equals x squared plus 2x, find each value. So here you can see for part A, f of 3, and that's how you read this. You're going to simply plug in 3 everywhere you see an x. It's really as easy as that when we evaluate, as you can see. So 3 squared plus 2 times 3. I would argue use parentheses as much as you can. I kind of wish they would have used parentheses here, but anyways, 3 squared of course is 9, plus 6 of course there is 15. For part B, a little bit different because it's not a number. You're going to substitute 5a in a similar manner for x, but of course because it's more than just a number, you have a number and a variable, we're going to have to put it in parentheses. I'm glad that they do that here, the next step. Parentheses, again, 5a in both cases. 5a quantity squared. 5 squared, of course, is 25. A squared, of course, is, well, just a squared. 2 times 5, of course, 10. So the final answer of this quadratic binomial, we call it, 25a squared plus 10a. Now the exercises that follow, I do suggest that you take a look at those circled questions. Try them out on your own. 7 and 9 are new in terms of what this page entails. There's also directions on discrete versus continuous. Please read that in the sense where discrete is simply where points are all that you see on the graph, while continuous functions are connected points. Okay, so if you create the graph on your own, you're connecting the points. So I believe most of these, if not all, are going to be continuous functions, unless they give you the points kind of scattered about already in advance. That would be when you would call it discrete. Otherwise, I should say it's always going to just be continuous. So I'm going to segue on to section 2.2 just because, again, we can with how things are kind of related here today. Linear relations and functions. So moving on. A linear equation has no operations other than addition, subtraction, and multiplication of a variable by a constant. The variables may not be multiplied together or appear in a denominator. A linear equation does not contain variables with exponents other than 1. The graph of a linear equation is always a line. It's called a linear function for a reason. All right, linear equation and function. In the next sentence, it actually uses the word function. A linear function is a function with ordered pairs that satisfy a linear equation. And a linear function can be written in the form, as you recall, f of x equals mx plus b, or y equals mx plus b. M and b are real numbers. And you remember, hopefully, y equals mx plus b speaks to m as your quote-unquote slope, which we'll dig into later, and b is your y-intercept. They describe that a little bit in the next sentence or two here. It says, if an equation is linear, you need only 2 points to satisfy the equation in order to graph it. One way is to find the x-intercept and the other the y-intercept. They don't talk about slope here, but certainly it can be gathered that that's a part of it eventually. And the y-intercept, and connect these 2 points with a line. So we'll take a look. Example 1 says, is f of x equals 0.2 minus x over 5 a linear function? And explain. The answer is yes, it is linear, and here's why. If you take this equation and rewrite it in such a way where it actually does in fact look like m, there's m, times x, of course still there x, and then plus 0.2, your b value. So it is in fact of the form y equals, or f of x equals simply y equals mx plus b. As far as using f of x in the context of the problem, if you were to rewrite it as y, that would actually be fine. Either way, keep in mind that it's a nice replacement, f of x, functional notation or function notation. Example 2, is 2x plus xy minus 3y equals 0 a linear function? And explain. Okay, so the answer here is no. It is not linear because the variables x and y are multiplied together. So if you hadn't seen, or if this particular equation didn't have, I should say, an x and a y multiplied, if it were just 2x minus 3y equals 0, then the answer would be yes. You could rework that problem into y equals mx plus b. However, x times y, there's really no easy way to split up the x times y without turning it into something that we are going to talk about later, but certainly is technically not y equals mx plus b. It can't be done because it's not linear. All right, in the next set of exercises, I do ask that you take a look at some of these on your own. I'm going to express to you maybe one here just to kind of show what is all entailed. Number 1 is fair, I think, to take a look at here. It says state whether each equation or function is a linear function, then write yes or no and explain. So for this equation, if we try to get y by itself, which you can do by adding x, then in the next step dividing by 6. When you do that, you simply have y, and that equals 1/6 x plus 7/6. So this in fact is y equals mx plus b, I would argue. And yes, it is a function. Please take a look at the rest of those problems on this page. And on page 12, I want you to read ahead and take a look at the examples to prepare for continuation of our notes, but also homework. This page segues nicely from what we've been discussing.